I enjoy generating MIDI sequences from the bass spot and slinging them over to the pyramid. I also do this through the drum drone, and the reason why is because this gives me a reference. At the same time, I like to have the pyramid sling MIDI over to the bass spot. More specifically, I just need for it to trigger the MIDI sequence start. At the same time, I also like to have it sequence the drum drone start. Now, in order to have this happen, I need to switch cables back and forth, as you can see a few cables back here. And I'm getting rather tired of having to do that, so I'm going to build a box which allows me to just flip a switch. And this is the box that I'm going to use to switch the MIDI signal. This is a rough schematic of what I'm using. And the issue that I may run into is that I'm only switching out the current source. I'm going to have all the current sinks and grounds connected accordingly, and I'm hoping that this one switch will do the trick. If it doesn't, then I'm also going to need to do a switch on the current sink. And I think I'm just going to put one in here if that's the case. But I'm going to go ahead and trudge forward with this with my fingers crossed and hope that this works. That almost worked, but it did not. Here is the problem. The problem is this through is connected back to the 303 and back to the pyramid in both instances. So if I'm coming from the pyramid to the 303, RK is going to come over here to the 606 input, but the through is going to come back to the pyramid, and that's going to cause everything to double up in tempo. And it's going to be the same thing with the 303. When the 303 is sending MIDI to the pyramid, its out is going to go into the 606, but the through is going to come back to the 303. So all I think I need to do is just add one more switch. This one here is just a single pole double throw. I don't need to add anything fancy. All I need to do is just switch between these two tracks. And I'm going to have to flip them both at the same time, and that's not so ideal, but it's better than not working at all. I solved the problem by adding another double pole double throw switch right here. I tried to get away with the single pole double throw switch, but that did not work. And the reason is because the current sync was still looping around through the input. If I look over here at my makeshift diagram, I was getting an interesting thing. Whenever I wanted the 303 to send MIDI, it was successful in sending MIDI all the way to the pyramid, but it was going double clock. And I think the reason why is because the MIDI was being actually doubled up. Pretty cool, huh? And then likewise, when I was trying to send MIDI from the pyramid to the 303, it was getting trapped at the 606. And I think it's like the inverse reason. That MIDI trying to get to the 303 was just being stuck in the 606. So let's go test it out. There's the box in its new permanent home, and now all I need to do is flip these two switches, and now the bass bot controls everything. So when I hit start stop, the pyramid starts and stops. And on the opposite, when I want to control everything from the pyramid, I just flip these two switches this direction, pointing towards the pyramid. And now I can hit the start stop button on the pyramid. 606 and 303 start up. And they stop. The next step will be to make some shorter cables and use these cables for something else in some other jams. Thanks for watching. See you next time.